Hey there Cosmic Warriors, and welcome back to another video. And if you are new here, my name is Hannah. I am a Western practical astrologer, and I am here today to talk about the Scorpio personality. So we're going to be looking at the personal planets within the sign of Scorpio as well as the Scorpio Rising, so stay tuned. However, before we do dive into today's video, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button and click the bell. And if you are interested in a personal reading from myself, then you can visit my website hannahselsewhere.com. There you can also find my practical astrology ebooks, guide and merch. All the links will be in the description box down below. I do hope that you find this video to be helpful. Let's do this. Alright, so before we do get into this, what are your Scorpio placements? Comment down below your Scorpio placements, and also if you resonate with your placements today. I would love to know. So to begin, just looking at the Scorpio personality overall, if you have a Scorpio personality, you are investigative, very passionate, intense, regenerative, and resilient. You are people with incredible strength and power. And when used with caution, intention, and intelligence, you create amazing results within your chosen area of expertise. There is this overcoming quality to you where you experience a wound, a loss, or a defeat, but you rise and you come out renewed and usually stronger too. After all, you are traditionally ruled by Mars, and so you're like Aries in that you advocate for yourself, you fight, protect, and defend, and you do not take any BS from others. You can actually be a lot scarier than Aries. You'll show great strength and mental stamina when researching. If you have Mercury in Scorpio, you'll experience these energy level transformations if you have Mars in Scorpio, and you'll show this emotional resilience if you have the Moon in Scorpio. However, whilst you can have many victories, so to speak, where you overcome adversity, you push past boundaries, and you expose the nitty-gritty truth, you also experience moments and chapters in your life where you spiral downward. You might give into your very, very strong compulsions, these irresistible urges that aren't good for you. They are not healthy for you. This could look like compulsive thoughts, compulsive eating habits, compulsive drinking, or compulsive sex. And when you give into these urges, other areas in your life are overlooked. Basically, you can go to extremes where you focus so strongly, so heavily on one thing. It's like you can become addicted to it. Next thing, your life is crumbling around you. You lose friends, you lose your job, you lose a relationship as examples. And you can also take part in self-sabotage. So for instance, you could be working really, really hard at achieving a certain goal, but then out of nowhere, you tear everything down. You feel this intensity to destroy what you have created, and possibly even here again, self-sabotage, destroying yourself. You could be training for a marathon, for example, right? Where you put in so many hours, you work so hard, you're so dedicated and driven. But then what happens is unexpectedly, you stop doing it and you turn to unhealthy substances instead. Though on the other hand, perhaps you're also smart enough to know when something has run its course. You know when it's time to walk away. And when you do, you are reborn. The thing that you once did may very well be dead to you. Still, this fixated personality of yours can be surprising to others. You shock others with your mysterious behaviors. Even those closest to you have no idea what you're going to do next. And it's also very hard to help you when you're in this self-destructive state. It's as if you must police yourself because you know how far you can take things. Though just following on from this point, you can have the most incredible self-control. When you are embodying the Phoenix, the Minerva, you are able to control yourself so well. You become aware of your shadow. You become aware of the things that can swallow you whole, and you choose to control such things rather than them or it controlling you. So this could look like you controlling your anger rather than your anger controlling you, controlling your anxiety or your fears or your temptations. Perhaps many of you are aware of the things that you can be extreme about. And when you're younger and more immature, it's much easier to give in to such things. But as you mature, you practice self-mastery and you learn to wield your power effectively with such strength. You're clever about it. And with the same token, like I said, you don't put up with BS. And so if or when you're pushed by others, if they disrespect you, you are ready with your stinger. The scorpion, of course, being the symbol or one of the symbols of Scorpio, this animal part of you that doesn't just disappear as you evolve. This very protective part of you whose purpose is to keep you safe. Your scorpion shell is another source of protection as well as your claws. You'll protect your energy, your emotions, your physical body, your heart, and your security, much like Cancers do. But the reaction is much more aggressive, serious, and destructive. And let's not forget that a scorpion has that venom. So the sting has venom. Such stings, okay, they may be mild and they aren't life-threatening, but the sting and venom can still really hurt and cause health problems, serious health problems. Oh yeah, you know how to get others where it hurts. You know what their weaknesses are, their insecurities, and when to use such things against them. And so you can use that stinger as a weapon when you want to and when you need to. Though there is a quick article that I want to share with you today, and it's connected with the 7 symbols of Scorpio. So I will link that article down below so you can look at it, but let's go through them. So we have the spider, and this shows the Scorpios who are spoilt and self-centered. Then we have the scorpion, and this shows the Scorpios who throw very strong temper tantrums and are jealous. The lizard shows the Scorpios who are more relaxed, they are much more humble. Then there is the snake, which shows the Scorpios who can move away from a dangerous situation, but can fiercely strike back when provoked. Then there is the wolf, which points to the Scorpios who are strong, wise, and protective, especially of their family. Then we move on to the eagle, and the eagle points to the Scorpios who are spiritual and very protective of the innocent, of the young. And finally, the phoenix. The phoenix, which shows the Scorpios who know how hard life can be, but they grow to become stable and very mature, very wise. They can survive anything, and they are deeply, deeply spiritual. And so that's really what the article says. I would love to know your thoughts and your opinions about it. And again, I will leave the link down below, but I loved that evolution process of Scorpio. However, I also think that you can experience these versions of yourselves during different stages of your life. And it's not this linear thing necessarily. I guess it depends on your life experiences. Still, it's you Scorpios who might go through these many stages, and that's okay. You also grow to look at the bigger picture. I think you mature by developing strong morals, having faith in yourself, believing in yourself, and being open to new and exciting possibilities. You expand greatly as you grow. You open your mind to what could be, and you experience greater luck and fortune. You grow to become philosophical and benevolent with the ability to use great foresight and vision. You embrace a greater awareness of freedom and optimism. As the article said, you know how hard life can be. You have been through the trenches within the likes of work, relationships, friendships, but you come out the other side renewed, reborn, and full of wisdom, experience, and inspiration. You see the best in yourself and the best in others, and you are incredibly spiritual. You possess the ability to probe beneath life's surface instead of taking things at face value. And your insights can be life-changing, transformative, not only for yourself, but for others as well. All right, so let's get into the personal planets and the rising sign in Scorpio. Let's begin by looking at the rising in Scorpio. So if you have a Scorpio rising, when other people first meet you, they are greeted with these qualities of emotion, intensity, strength, and power. The way you walk or move throughout the day appears mysterious and protective, and you can have this do not mess with me appearance. And you can also move with such intention, focus, and power. You can be very magnetic, where you attract a lot of attention. Some people may feel intimidated by you, some may feel jealous of you, others may feel inspired, like, whoa, I need to step up my game here. But perhaps such things are unconscious. After all, Scorpio is connected to the underworld, to the subconscious, the unconscious worlds, meaning you subconsciously move others in different ways depending on their own fears, experiences, and upbringing. And what's also interesting is how others tend to paint you as the villain, as the bad guy, but really you're showing others their own darkness, their own shadow. Naturally, you can show others their darkness in positive ways too, but perhaps they just aren't ready to hear the truth. Moreover, you can come across as a strong leader, as a very passionate leader, but not in this outward, in your face way like Aries, in a much more serious and wise way. Then again, there can also be times when you appear rageful, vindictive, very concerned, and very demanding. It depends on the day, it depends on your mood. And when it comes to your aims and your ambitions, you are powerful, determined, driven, and devoted. And no one can stand in your way. You'll stick to a decision related to your ambitions and your goals, and you will not be swayed. And whilst you can go through these death and rebirths, as I mentioned in the first part of this video, when you want something hard enough, you'll fight tooth and nail for it. And you will learn greatly from your falls, from your weaknesses, from your losses. Perhaps you often get told how strong and how brave and even how empathetic you are. You show great empathy to those you cherish. After all, this is the first house, and the first house is the house of I am. Now, it's also important to locate your chart rulers, which are Mars and Pluto, because they will give you more information about your goals and your motivations, being Mars, and then looking at your transformations, being Pluto. They will also provide you with information about your aggression, anger, and intensity. Essentially, your journey of self-discovery is tied to your power, deeper meaning, drive, and passions. The Sun in Scorpio. So here we have the Sun, which is associated with our ego, our individuality, our self-expression, being connected to qualities of investigation, strength, intensity, drive, and protection. Therefore, you can be such magnetic and powerful people. You are able to influence others in ways where they are confronted with parts of themselves. You transform the lives of others from the inside out due to your wisdom and your deep insights. You look at what is beneath the surface, and others notice you for such things. They might applaud you and recognize the work you do. Then again, you might also frighten others with an ugly truth, or because they can see that you're about to explode or go there. Oh yeah, the way you express yourself can be intense. However, it's usually people who aren't used to such passion that feel threatened or fearful. And besides, underneath the surface, you can be such caring, loving, and empathetic people, very sensitive as well, though you might not show this above the surface. Still, you pride yourself on your research, your investigations, and your perceptiveness. You go beyond the physical and into the emotional in very deep and profound ways. And you often shock others with what you find and with what you integrate. Though following on from this point, seeing as the Sun is tied to our vitality and how we shine, you experience transformations when it comes to these things. You also grow to be expansive and really inspirational. As you age, as you mature, you become much more open and fair-minded. You lighten up a lot too. Plus, you feel good about yourself when you take on a powerful role and when you are recognized for your strength. Naturally, do make sure to consider the aspects being made to your Sun in Scorpio if you have any other placements, which can make things quite different. Still, you express qualities of depth, emotional resilience, passion, and determination, and your very purpose is tied to these things. Do also make sure to consider the house that your Sun in Scorpio is in, because this will tell you the area of life that this energy is playing out in. Hi, it's me again. So I just wanted to inform you about the practical astrology guide that I have created. So it is a 20-day practical astrology guide, and it covers the ins and outs of astrology, looking also at how a natal chart is created. It touches on the astrological ages, it looks at astronomy as well, and also looking at those practical representations of the 7 classical planets and the angular points. So if you are someone who is interested in astrology, you're new to it, even if you are an astrology student or you're an astrologer, because we can all learn something different from each other, I definitely recommend this guide. My whole intention with this guide is that you will walk away from it thinking of astrology, hopefully practically and also differently. And my major key aim really with this guide is using the stars for self-awareness. So learning about astrology, but also learning more about yourself and learning more about other people. Plus, it is super affordable, costing only about £2 per day. Though, if you are interested in just a little taster, so looking at you dipping your toes into what this guide is all about, that is available for you as well. The moon in Scorpio. Okay, so we are moving to a very sensitive and private part of the Scorpio archetype. And so your power is truly felt from within. And your transformations are strongly tied to your emotions and your feelings. Such transformations manifest themselves outwardly as well. Meaning, when you transform from the inside out, your environment truly reflects your inner power. It reflects your strength, your courage, and your resilience. Your body also clearly shows what's going on the inside. So if you're feeling sad or insecure, or you're really hurting, which by the way, sadness can be a very intense thing for you. You can even lean toward suffering from depression during certain stages in your life. Still, when you're feeling these types of ways, perhaps you eat less, you struggle to sleep, you isolate yourself, or you turn to unhealthy substances. Naturally, such actions can be shown physically, okay, on your body. And if you're feeling good about yourself, you're feeling strong, you're feeling happy, you're feeling positive, but again, thinking about these emotions in a very strong way, right? You're more willing to exercise, work well, and you're perhaps more productive. But essentially, your mood fluctuations can be quite obvious, even if you don't think so yourself. Now, let's address how the moon is in its fall in Scorpio, suggesting that it can be particularly challenging to have a Scorpio moon. Why? Because both the moon and Scorpio are tied to protection. They're both very sensitive as well, meaning you can be really protective and really sensitive. At times you can even become overly suspicious of others, and you'll consider their intentions and their motives. However, this isn't really where the challenge comes in necessarily. I think the fact that you do consider other people's intentions and motives can be very powerful and useful. But here's what I think. I think that having the moon can be difficult here because you can sense when something bad is going to happen. You can pick up on the emotional changes within the atmosphere. You can feel people's true intentions. And so what if you pick up on something that you don't like? What if you pick up on something that makes you feel really, really uncomfortable? Well, you're going to protect yourself. But then what if you're in a situation where you can't protect yourself? Though, of course, protecting yourself is normal. It's a normal human reaction. Especially, thinking about danger, keeping yourself safe from danger. And your strong hunches, they do not rest. They do not rest. However, there can also be times, I will say, where you can be paranoid, or times when you refuse help from others because you think that they have ill intentions, or you are overly suspicious when really they just want to help you. Though on that note, you prefer to be emotionally supported by people you trust. It might even be difficult for you to accept professional help, such as going for therapy, for instance. Still, trust is so important to you. Honesty is so important. I mean, if someone lies to you, you won't forget it. Lying is far too threatening to your emotional security, and I sure wouldn't want to be the person who lies to you or gets on the wrong side of you, because when you feel betrayed, you feel so hurt, and then you may react really in a very strong and intense way. Also, when you support others emotionally, you're so caring and compassionate and loving. You're the most supportive people to those you love. Naturally, do also consider the aspects being made to your moon in Scorpio, as well as other placements, though essentially you are instinctively probing, magnetic, tenacious, and perceptive people. Also, do make sure to locate or to consider the house that your moon in Scorpio is in, because this will tell you the area of life that this energy is playing out in. Mercury in Scorpio. All right, so you are a passionate and intense communicator, a determined and driven learner, and a powerful teacher. You transform others with your words and your insights, and your levels of research and learning transform. The more you focus and dig beneath the surface, the more information you gain and can be presented to others. Basically, your profound curiosity leads to a sharper intellect and an ability to master a certain topic or subject. You can be such intelligent people, but not only when it comes to logic, also when it comes to your emotions. Not to mention, you can be such intuitive people. Perhaps you're interested in subjects that are connected to spirituality, magic, occultism, and symbolism. You might also gravitate towards subjects that focus on investigation, research, hidden things, death, or crime. You sure know how to push the boundaries when it comes to the likes of learning, communication, and teaching. And when it comes to things like driving, commuting, and moving throughout your local city or neighborhood, you can be very intentional about where you go and who you go with. You'll focus on the road. Perhaps you possess great street smarts. You don't go anywhere that seems shady or off. And you aren't the type of people to talk to strangers. Oh, and you can show great loyalty to your favorite spots. Naturally, do also consider the aspects being made to your Scorpio Mercury as well as other placements. But overall, you are perceptive, driven, and focused when it comes to the likes of writing, speaking, and media. You aren't afraid of addressing things that others shy away from. Now, do also make sure to consider the house that your Mercury in Scorpio is in, because this will tell you the area of life that this energy is playing out in. Venus in Scorpio. Okay, so first and foremost, Venus is in detriment in Scorpio, suggesting some discomfort when it comes to your finances, your resources, and your relationships. See, with the extreme quality to Scorpio, as we have discussed throughout this video, it suggests that you can experience these extremes when it comes to the likes of finances and resources and your relationships. So this can look like you giving it your all, right? Really giving it your all and pushing and being determined as you build wealth. But then boom, things change. There is a death and a rebirth moment. Similar death and rebirth moments can occur within your relationships. So you can experience basically these strong losses. But here's the thing. You can also experience powerful gains. And such gains can be incredibly rewarding. They can lead to these rebirth moments that feel amazing. Let's also think as well about how sensual, seductive, and sexual you can be, of how much you bring the passion and intimacy to your relationships. And what an amazing thing, because it's not about the image of a relationship. You don't fall for the superficial. For relationships built on wealth and success and materialism, you focus on what's on the inside. You prefer a relationship based on trust, intimacy, respect, deep desire, and sticking together through the highs and the lows. So sure, the notable fluctuations can come with their challenges, as previously mentioned, so thinking about instability and having to rebuild, having to restart again, to start over. But they also bring depth and meaning. And a different kind of meaning to what is being physically presented. Also, you can bring such strength to any relationship you're a part of. You can be loyal and loving. Moreover, you're determined when it comes to financial matters, very driven and devoted. Perhaps you're talented at investigation, the occult, psychology, and unraveling what's hidden, mysteries. Perhaps you possess psychic abilities. Oh, and back to the financial side of things, you can be so skilled at managing other people's money, other people's resources. Naturally, do also consider aspects being made to your Scorpio Venus as well as other placements, though essentially you seek depth when it comes to your relationships. And others, well, they may bend to your will, which is something to be cautious of, I suppose, just on that note. Yeah, you can come across as controlling at times or as manipulative. Or it's that your partners, so the partners you attract, even thinking about friends as well, maybe they can show these controlling and jealous, manipulative qualities toward you. But perhaps you grow to establish more freedom where it's not about trying to dominate or control. You embrace relationships based on openness, freedom, and positivity. Though just to finish this on a positive note, you value your charisma, your drive, and your passion. Now, do also make sure to consider the house that your Venus in Scorpio is in, because this will tell you the area of life that this energy is playing out in. And lastly, Mars in Scorpio. Alright, so here we have the most determined and driven personal planet of Scorpio. Even thinking about how Mars is home in this sign, meaning it's more than comfortable here, but the way you assert yourself, the way you take action, well, you're subtle. You often fly under the radar until you're ready to present yourself. You're ready to attack, so to speak. You can go into hiding as you work on your craft, you get stronger, you re-strategize. And if others get in your way, if they try to take you down, they better watch out. Because, like I said, you have that stinger. A great example of this actually is Taylor Swift, who has a Scorpio Mars. She also has a Scorpio Rising, I believe. I mean, she writes songs about exes who betrayed her, who hurt her. Yeah, you are ready to defend or attack. And when you are angry, above the surface, you can appear super cool and collected, whilst underneath, you're plotting your revenge, or you're dying for the day that that person gets what is coming to them. Perhaps they do, and it's so satisfying for you. And you can also scheme against others, and to be blunt, you can take things too far, where you turn into this power freak. You become obsessed with having the most power, the most influence, and the most success, and so on. Though I suppose it depends on the goal in mind. And thinking about the destructive quality of Scorpio, there can be times when you destroy without remorse. However, as you age, as you grow, you consider the bigger picture. You consider your future aspirations, and so you plan for the future. And whoa, you can be so powerful at motivating others. So powerful. You won't be easy on the person you're motivating either. You'll give them the truth. You'll push them. You'll give them a good kick up the ass if they need it. And when it comes to your goals, I guess we already touched on this, but you are so strategic. You're also unshakable, and you will practice amazing self-control. When you are motivated to achieve something, you will keep going, keep pushing. You do not give up easily, and you're willing to do the brave thing. You're willing to take risks, but you're also going to be smart. You're going to be smart about the types of risks you take. However, it's also likely that you sabotage yourself when you feel too frustrated or angered by the process, by the journey. So if something isn't going your way, you self-sabotage, okay? Or it's that these self-sabotage behaviors, they present themselves. Still, you can be such strong leaders. Perhaps things like research, the occult, death, sex, and healing really inspire you. Naturally, do also consider aspects being made to your Scorpio Mars as well as other placements, though essentially you make the most powerful managers, debt collectors, doctors, healers, witches, wizards, and detectives. You see what's beneath the surface and bring the unseen to light. And you are perceptive and intuitive when it comes to your clients, friends, lovers, and colleagues, and so on. Now, do also make sure to consider the house that your Mars in Scorpio is in, because this will tell you the area of life that this energy is playing out in. Okay then, Cosmic Warriors, so that concludes my video talking about the Scorpio personality. Please do let us know if you found this video to be helpful and if you resonated with your placements today. I would really appreciate that. And again, let us know your Scorpio placements down below. And as always, let us know your thoughts and your opinions on today's video. But with all of that being said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And of course, if you would like to see more videos from myself and you have not yet subscribed, then make sure that you click that subscribe button and also give this video a like if you did like it today. And I will be back with another video very, very soon. Bye!